Market Peak with Seth and Matt. Welcome, everybody. This is Seth and Matt with Market Peak, P-E-E-K, going to give you a peek of the market. Today is Friday, March 9th, and we got a lot to cover today. We're going to be talking about Amazon winning the union battle, which is pretty freaking... I did not expect that. DFV, Deep Fucking Values, GME, YOLO update. He's still got the call for April 16th. We're going to be talking about Gamestop as a whole. Matt actually has it in his 3 charts for tonight. Biden has some tax ideas. I wrote down a couple, an interesting one on the corporate side. Once again, Matt will have his 3 charts. Please subscribe over there, like down here somewhere. Give us a few minutes if you want, or maybe check out your favorite stock that we're covering. I did find the last one, Ttcm. There's just shrimp, we get this bump right around the shrimp line. Dude, Ttcm was like
shrimp line.
Yeah, it was like a 10-story building.
Shrimp cutoff line.
It goes over and it was just like way up there. Like very, very interesting, I'll have to say. But we do appreciate the Ttcm people who, gave us a lot of praise for it, watched it, had some comments. In fact, Rob, who, we converse at least a few times a week, showed me a screenshot of some people talking, about how they liked our coverage, which we appreciate because it was a tough one. That's for sure. Like it was a tough one to cover. And that
was a tough one to unpack.
We feel like we grasped it for the most part. There are some things that were left unsaid. We might have got a couple things slightly askew, but judging from the reaction that everyone had, we did a pretty good job, which I'm really, really happy with. And that was all Matt. So Matt worked pretty hard with the research on that, which is great. So we appreciate that. And then that's pretty much it. We're not financial advisors. None of this is official advice. Do your research, your D-squared, all that neat stuff. And please share if you like the episode. Share it. Instagram, Twitter, wherever you prefer. Reddit, we get a lot of shares there, which is cool. So, and all right, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into Amazon. So please take it away. Actually, hold on. We got swaggy stocks in front of us. I forgot. So Gamestop has taken the lead once again. Tesla's fallen quite a ways back. It was even before they announced the record-breaking deliveries. Tesla had been up second place, if not first, above GameStop. But since it really hasn't done anything, it's fallen down to fourth. GameStop in first, about a 35% unfavorable rate with Apple. Palantir, even though it does nothing, it still manages to sit in third and fourth. I can't believe it. Seriously.
I think it breaks out next week.
Palantir? I hope so.
Absolutely.
I have a call on Palantir that expires, I think, the 23rd, so maybe the 30th. So that would be great. I'm rooting for you. Come on, Palantir, do something. Fuel cell, I've given up on you. I just, I have you in my IRA, so long term, I'm still super bullish. But the call I have on it, just forget about it. All right, so
and look,
go ahead.
I'm just going to say really quickly, we did say if this is in addition to your long-term portfolio, just buy on the way down too, because again, this is like a good long duration play. Sure.
I mean, if you're sitting on cash and you feel as if you're ready to make a move in the sector with renewable energy, with hydrogen specifically, which is the future, go ahead, because it's super cheap right now. It's like $12.50, something like that, and it was over 30 not that long ago. So, but the whole sector's down. It's, that plug, they all follow the same line. So Amazon, I did not expect them to beat the vote. It's pretty freaking crazy. It was actually 1,798 for, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And 738 against. Did not expect this in Alabama at all. Take it away.
So I think we can extrapolate 2 things from this. One, Amazon workers generally like working for Amazon. They're loyal. They want to kind of support the company.
Sure.
And number 2, when operating in a conservative state, you can kind of rely on, identity politics to kind of, help you beat back workers' rights interests.
Sure.
So
it's just,
I guess
I'm surprised. I really, really am. I mean, it wasn't intimidation for sure, and I've worked in places that were in jeopardy of, and I say in jeopardy because when you work for the company and a union comes in, there's a lot of stuff, especially in food and beverage. There's just it just makes things really, really difficult to have like a family type atmosphere in a lot of ways. Like if there's a problem, you can't go to your manager. You have to go to your union, and your union comes to the manager. So it just creates separation at a base level. When you're working in restaurants, not the greatest thing. When you're working in a factory or in a mine or something like that, I would imagine the managers are probably more managers than friends, as a lot of times they can be in food and beverage. I'm just throwing that out there. But I do know that if you want to defend against it, the best thing you can do is paint the pretty picture that is actually currently happening, where everyone's a family and everyone gets together, and then say, listen, we're going to lose control of our ability to do a lot of that stuff. And there are ways that Amazon can talk to these people and say, listen, if you really like the way things are now, just let it go, and if not, tell us what we can do to help. I've worked for managers that were the nicest managers in the world until after the review, and then became dicks again. So it's just interesting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that this went through, or didn't go through. That is, that the defeat went through. That is, I'm just surprised.
Yeah, especially given the fact that these workers, had they unionized, would have been able to negotiate a higher salary, better benefits,
breaks,
that sort of thing.
Longer breaks.
Yeah, breaks.
I mean, I don't know if you saw, and I had it as an article, and I thought we would talk about, but I was like, I don't know if we can dedicate time to this. But since we're talking about Amazon, they just finally relented on a previous statement saying, no, our drivers don't pee in bottles in the vans or in the delivery trucks. And then they had to come out and say, okay, we're sorry we said that. We are aware of some instances, and bullshit. These guys got to pee. Where did they go to the bathroom? When you drive these trucks, it's not like you can just, pull over, especially with COVID. It's a really, really big challenge. So these guys peeing in bottles is not a surprise at all. And that's definitely one thing that unions would just, that wouldn't happen anymore. So, but it would really make Amazon, it would make it difficult for Amazon to do business as they are, because they would be requiring a lot of breaks, and, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. I am not saying that, which is why I'm so surprised that this didn't pass.
If a right to work state would have flipped on them, that would have pretended, bad things to come.
Yeah, that's true.
As far as, winning those union battles.
Let's look at Amazon. So Amazon today was up 2.21%. You'd think it would have been higher. Over the week, it was up 6.59. So it had a decent week. I have Amazon in my IRA. I mean, that stock is just unbelievable. It's almost tripled. It's just unbelievable. Since I got it just 3-4 years ago. So, and it doubled in the last year. It's actually probably been up more than triple. Do you think they'll split 33.72? Do you think that's possible?
That to make that share price a little more accessible? I don't know.
Do you think they like being
Amazon's
more elite?
Been so quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just getting this really extended period of price consolidation, I think, that is healthy for the stock. I mean, I think Amazon heads higher as far as the share price is concerned overall. I don't know if they would split, or how that would really, benefit them versus benefiting their sharedholders.
Sure.
I just think, if there's one stock I would choose to be left on a deserted island with, it would be Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously an e-commerce giant. They have AWS cloud services platform, extremely successful.
Which is extremely
they're kind of dabbling in the health services industry.
Yeah.
They're a logistics company. So
It's pretty. I mean, there's a reason why Jeff Bezos is the richest guy in the world. So it's a pretty impressive thing. It is a win. It is a win for them, for sure. I definitely feel like, for the most part, like these protections are probably important. Like seriously. But at the same time, if they vote against it, I have a friend that worked for them. He left the restaurant. Actually, he got let go for a hotel he was working for when COVID hit, and he went to work for Amazon. This is down here in Miami. And so when everything got back, eventually the hotel called him. This was like last September. They called him. We talked about it on another show because we said so. And they called him back. He's like, no, I'm chilling at Amazon, because he loved working there, even though he's making like almost half, a little more than half what he was making at the hotel, but he just loved working there. Like, he said, it's cool, it's chill, like we make good money, everyone's, cool to work for, the facilities are great. So, I mean, obviously that's a good thing for Amazon. But eventually, it was about a month ago, he's like, all right, I got to go make some freaking money. So he did end up going back to the hotel. It started about a month ago. All right, so our markets, had a decent week. NASDAQ was up about 3.6. Dow was up about 1%. S&P almost 1%. Russell was down 1%. So it was a little mixed. We'll see what happens. We're going to be talking tomorrow, right? The list that you put together, reasons why the market's going to rally next week. So hopefully it'll finally happen. What did you think about the week?
I was kind of expecting a slow week for markets in general. I think there was still some news to digest, the Amazon union battle being one of them, one of those news pieces. But I think, as we'll discuss in tomorrow's episode,
sure,
that, we're kind of past this negative news cycle right now. Markets have some things to look forward to. We're seeing that 10-year yield kind of begin to stabilize, which should be good for tech. And, we're still coming off the heels of, a big period of consolidation, which I think was good for markets.
Yeah.
So from at least a technical charting standpoint, it looks like, we could rally from here.
Okay.
And the dip buyers will, slowly begin their work.
Let's hope so. I mean, we're going to talk about it tomorrow, but I mean, having a week like this where it went up a little bit, can't complain about that at all. Not complaining. It's kind of nice. Russell being down a little bit as well, which is fine. Hopefully we get that little bit of a bump. So Biden releases new tax plan. And what's interesting is, if we know about it, he wants to raise corporate tax rate to 28. They might be negotiating down at 25 and stuff like that. But one of the things that came out, so Biden's new tax plan aims to stop big companies that are profitable but have no federal income tax liability from paying no taxes to the Treasury Department by imposing a 15% tax on all profit they report to investors. So even if you move the company offshore, you do all your cute little tricks or whatever, you're just going to pay 15% on the profits that you basically release to investors. This is to people companies earning $2 billion or more per year. So it's not, originally he was talking about 100 million or more as how he's going to do it, but he's raising it to $2 billion or more per year, which I'm okay with. But I think that's interesting.
Yeah. So do you choose to report less and, potentially expose yourselves to like an earnings hit?
Exactly.
In share price, or do you, do the opposite? So
it's kind of cool. It's kind of interesting
landscape.
Yeah. Sneaky.
Yeah, it is sneaky.
I it's just, it's one, I mean,
it is sneaky.
Yeah. I mean, so exactly. It's funny. When you mentioned it, I hadn't even really considered that. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to report less earnings because you might, exactly what you said, take a stock hit. But at the same time, we'll see. It still has to go through, and I'm sure there's gonna be some negotiation. It's gonna be tough because there are some Democrats that are, they're kind of on the fence about some of this. So, but what's interesting about it, so it's going to increase the rate of what's essentially minimum tax on money American companies earn abroad. It would apply that tax to a much broader section of income. It would also eliminate lucrative tax deductions for foreign-owned companies that are based in low-tax countries like Bermuda or Ireland, but have operations in the United States. So that's pretty cool. And we're going to jump into GameStop when we get into match 3 charts. But we are going to talk about how our feature stock did from last Wednesday.
Outside, where the real stuff happens.
Yeah. Hold on here. Let me get Ttcm. Yeah, I don't know why, dude, but for some reason, there we go. For some reason, TradingView wants to be...
Ttcm, speaking of real life.
Yeah. So, yeah, visit outside where real stuff happens. That's for sure.
Yeah, through an augmented reality platform.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, if you saw the video...
It'd be so much more interesting.
If you saw the filter I have right now, dude, you'd be like, dude, that's so augmented reality, bro. So, all right, Ttcm, it was relatively flat for the week, which is completely fine. If you watched us, we covered it last Wednesday, and it did have a nice little jump where it jumped to over 100% in a day based on patent information that the lawyer had released, which is great. You can see it set a little bit higher. They have an augmented reality platform, which enables you to create NFTs or NFT-like. I'm not really sure if it's an official NFT or NFT because I think an NFT has to be on, I don't know, if it's a non-fungible token, I guess you can create an NFT. Anyway, NFT-like things are properties for people who take pictures or videos or whatever, which would enable them to essentially profit off of these images that are freely being put out into the market. It's just really, really cool stuff. Anyway, traded kind of flat for the week. We're okay with that, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, it, like you advised, it is a bet on the technology, so proceed with caution. You know, don't spend more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, and like I said, I spent like 400 some bucks. I got 30,000 shares, 29,000 shares, whatever. And we'll see what happens. Like whatever, it could completely take off. It could just sit there. Let me go to all. How long has this been out here? So yeah, this is May 2011. And it was like $1.40, and then it's just been super, super flat ever since. But what's important about obviously talking about this now is clearly this is stuff that's starting to really become more mainstream. And as it does, they have a potential because, as Matt described when we talk about it, it is essentially a social media platform. Like, you can take pictures around the world, upload them to your profile, and then when people are in those areas, they can look at the pictures that you took, or they can visit that area remotely and view like the area and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, it's just really cool. Eventually, like we talked about, if they were to team up with VIX at some point, that would be, dude, that'd be atmospheric is what that would be.
And like you said, it's offering a very important professional service, photo authentication.
Sure.
You know, so you can use that embedded information, those timestamps and watermarks, that's digitally stored, tap into that and trace your photos
around the world
as they travel online.
Yeah. Like it's just, the thing is too, if you have like, if you're a professional photographer who takes like amazing, like nature, I don't know, I keep envisioning like nature shots, but it could be whatever. And you want to post it so people can see it. As soon as you post it, like that's it. It's going to get spread around so many damn times. But if you're using a platform like this where it only exists in that platform, and it can only be shared if you decide to share it with specific individuals or something like that, you just have much more control over it. And of course, if it's an NFT and you want to sell a copy of it, which is what a lot of people are doing, like Patrick Mahomes, he's taking an image or a video and he's creating a token where there's 50 tokens that represent this image, and he's selling those 50 tokens. So you could have one of those 50 tokens that gives you a 1/50th ownership of this image. And he's got like bronze and silver and a gold one. I think the gold one's like 25,000. The bronze is like 10. Silver's like 3, something along those lines. So if you're a photographer that, you know, is really, really famous or just has an amazing image that's grasping people, you just, you know, empowering yourself to be able to do that. I mean, this is, and we're not talking about stuff that's set in stone. We're just giving examples of what this technology can do and what it can turn into as it creates more momentum. And honestly, as the stock share goes up and they can start having more money to further invest, to be completely honest. So anyway, that's how our stock did. What do you think about that? All right.
Light applause.
I guess it's time for everyone's favorite segment, 3 Charts with Matt. So we'll jump into the volatility index and we'll go to the, you know what, let's go to the 5-day. We've been looking at the month for so long. 16.7. Not too shabby, please.
Not too shabby. On its way down, as we've been predicting. We're looking at that 14-ish level for target for next Friday.
14? Okay.
I think it gets there. I mean, the thing is just collapsing. We held above that 20 level for such a long time, almost a full year.
Sure.
And now we're seeing some movement. What exactly is driving that movement? It's hard to say right now. It could just be, fundamentally driven by, last quarter's earnings and optimism surrounding this, reopening of the economy.
Sure.
Look at the news cycle this week. I think today CNBC came out with a big article, discussing the fact that we could, be in a big boom cycle and we could have 2 more years of, accelerated growth.
Sure.
And so, things are looking optimistic right now and volatility is decreasing, as a part of, reaction to that kind of sentiment.
Sure. I agree 100%. It's pretty amazing. You've been predicting it for a while, and you said once it starts doing this is generally it's probably what's going to happen. And sure enough, it's been happening. And if it does that, you're expecting it to go below 10. So all of you out there want to put some puts on VXX, might be worth it.
I do think, I do think if the VIX hits that 14-ish level, we do get a spike. So for instance, if it gets there by Thursday, Friday of next week, I think the week after, we definitely see a spike. And, that's the pattern we've been following for the past year. You get a spike early in the month, and then that spike gets crushed and the market just grinds high.
Sure.
So I expect nothing different in this case.
Next on the list, we have Apple, which is interesting. I didn't expect you to pull this one up, but yeah, man, Apple it is. Go for it.
So if you look at the yearly chart, it looks like we're trying to go back to all-time highs. With the reason I'm bringing this chart up is because I find it interesting that despite the fact that S&P has hit new all-time highs, Apple hasn't. We're clearly rallying right now.
Sure.
And if Apple, which has such a heavy weighting in major indices, has yet to hit an all-time high, that means that a lot of smaller weighted stocks are doing well right now, which is healthy. You want the smaller weightings to do better before the larger growth stocks,
sure.
The big mega cap
Only
stocks,
as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah, exactly. And, I think Apple rallies next week and brings the whole market up with it.
That's cool. I'm happy with that. We'll take it. That's for sure. All right. Well, another one that I have in my IRA, I just, you just hold on to it. That's pretty much all there is to it. And it was a 3-for-1. Is it 3-for-1 split or something like that? It just split not that far away from when Tesla split last year.
Yeah.
So, and that's something that Apple does. They split not that long beforehand. When it gets to a certain point, they'll split to where it's going to be around around $100 or so, and just let it ride back up again. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to say the gorilla in the room, GameStop, which when you came up with your 3 charts, I was like, all right, GameStop it is. I'll go this 6 month. I guess the 1 year it's kind of weird one to go to. So go ahead. I'll let you start, and then we'll talk about GameStop.
So we're at that 160-ish level. I think we find support here. I think there are 3 reasons why GME rallies next week.
Sure.
One, we're heading into monthly expiration. There are a lot of monthly contracts out there on this one. I still think there is short interest out there that has yet to kind of be squeezed. Price is still a lot higher than it was a year ago.
Sure.
A few months ago, 6 months ago. I think a lot of people who had bought calls, on this one a few months were not expecting the price to still be this resilient this far into the year.
True.
So the fact that it's overcome that much pessimism and, begun to base out support, and around that 140, 150-ish level is a good sign. Okay, so number two, if you look at the 3-month chart, or excuse me, the monthly chart, we've bled off 44%. So
yeah,
normally there's 50% retracements are what you look for as far as, buying the dip opportunities are concerned.
Sure.
I don't think it's any different here. And the third reason, I mean, if you want to cover this one.
Oh, yeah. So
GFE bet.
This is, this is from April 1st. And if you look at the image here, wow, maybe not quite so big. Good Lord. Let me back this up. So you can see he's got an April 16 call, $12 call. God, $12 call, bro. Unbelievable. I mean, seriously, dude, this guy's just like, good Lord. So anyway,
bring us to the promised land.
Yeah. So anyway, he's got a $12 call that expires on Friday, which is expiration. Right now, as you can see, the value. Well, this is cash total, but I mean, as you can see, he's up 25 million as of April 1st. Up. That's his gain, folks. Up 25 million. And today he was up 171. But yeah, at one point he was down. So obviously this is a really, really good thing. But my question is, okay, so that's happening. So why would that cause it to run? I believe it will too, but what do you think?
So I think he pulls a lot of other traders, into this trade with him.
He does, sure.
And yeah, and he has a big platform, a lot of people listening.
But
and so I think,
can the people, like, that's what I'm saying, like when you have these institutions working against, and maybe they're not, because I think the last time I looked, I'll go ahead and look again. Let's see, GME
it's so
short. Go ahead.
So if enough people buy calls,
19%.
that forces the people selling those calls to hedge with shares. And that, in a nutshell, is a gamma squeeze.
Okay.
Right?
There you go.
So
I bought a call.
Especially heading into monthly. Yeah. Heading into monthly expiration, I can bet you $1 million that there are a lot of people right now who are bullish with calls that expire next Friday.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to squeeze the price higher.
Sure. Well, we'll see. I mean,
the upside in this case.
I'm rooting for it. That's for sure. I mean, $158. It's, I mean, can we support for GME? But it's around where the support is, I guess. We'll see what happens on Monday.
Why is it even that high to begin with?
Because many people believe in it.
People really just wanted to. Yeah, exactly.
That's it. It's 100% sentiment. It's 100% people like saying, you know what, this guy's killing it over here. We can kill it too. I'm sure there's institutions that are behind him. They want to help him, that are tired of the big bullies, like the smaller institutions. I'm sure that's a possibility as well. So, all right, well,
it was $20 a few months ago.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Let's see. I mean, it was pretty freaking low. Yeah. What do we got? Yeah, dude. You're right. It's actually, no, 3 months ago, bro. It was like freaking, like 17, 18. Oh, my God. The things in retrospect. Anyway, all right. That's pretty much all we got. So any predictions? What are your predictions for Monday overall?
I think it's an up day.
Okay. We'll take it. So, and for the week next week, we'll talk about our predictions for the week off for our episode tomorrow. All in all, I'm expecting things to be up as well on Monday. They generally are. Having it was a decent Friday. Wasn't terrible. It didn't completely suck, but overall the week kind of moving up slowly. I think it was a really nice momentum that'll carry into Monday, and hopefully the Gamestop show is a good one and there's lots of fireworks, because otherwise it's going to be It's going to be a bummer. We shall see. All right. Any last minute thoughts?
I'm expecting to see some fireworks.
Okay. Me too.
Yeah,
we will definitely take the fireworks. That's for sure. So, all right. Well, please leave us a comment with your thoughts, stuff you agreed with or disagreed with for sure. Check out our other show, Because We Said So. Pull it up.
What are you talking about this week?
So this week, we are going to be talking about DMX. I'm sure you heard he passed away. A little bit of a bummer, which, it kind of is what it is. We might be talking a little bit about the Georgia voting laws that went into effect as well, just because there's a lot going on with that. Augusta made a statement. The MLB pulled the All-Star game out of Georgia as well. This isn't the first time crap like this has happened. Arizona had some stuff happen as well where they made some bad calls. I think they pulled the Super Bowl or something like that. It happens. Mostly in southern states, let's be honest. But BWS's podcast, I'll put a link for the show down below. It's a fun show. Once again, we get a lot more listens than views. It started off as a podcast show. I added the video element last summer. It's pretty awesome, so check it out, guys. And I guess that's pretty much it. We'll see you guys on Sunday.